What is up, nerd? It's me, your buddy pal HeyArcher. Welcome back to not my channel. Actually, welcome to Nerd Affiliated. Today, we have Anthony on. We got news. Channels are changing. Anthony's leaving the nest to go do his own thing. And he also met some celebrities today. We're talking Ghostbusters. We're talking the channel. We're talking his podcast. Talking a lot of things. So sit back, relax, enjoy that Anthony avatar for the last couple seconds if you're on YouTube, because that's going away. And as always, intro. Well, Senor Anthony, Mr. Bruce Wayne himself. I feel like the Robin is leaving its nest and becoming the true Nightwing that you are meant to be. Anthony, first of all, how are you doing today?
I am pretty damn good today, and you know why. Everybody will find out why as we talk. But going with the Nightwing reference, is it okay if I skip over the feathers and the really high 80s collar, or do I have to go through that?
Well, you know what? Let's see what was determined by me, because I gave you no creative say. We'll say goodbye to the Bruce Wayne, to the Anthony. I said it backwards, but you get the gist. And introduce Rambling with Anthony. More Mask of the Phantasm is what I was thinking when I picked this.
There's no feather and there's no high collar, so I'm good with it.
But there's still yellow in the picture.
I mean, listen, can't win everything in life. It's not I don't want to say any other colors. I'm just starting out. I don't want to say anything to alienate people who are fans of certain colors. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
Good choices. Good choices were made today, sir. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And this would have been like a Captain America in the Avengers moment where if we walked by one another, I would have had to hand you just like a 10 or a 20, whatever we bet, because I really didn't think this would ever happen.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Like, I had no intention of doing this, but hey, here we are.
Here we are. And, you know, before we even go that far, quick shout out to first of all of you, if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, if you're watching on YouTube to see our lovely faces, welcome. Thank you all for being part of the ride. Special shout out to Nix of Do You Speak Geek. Your Blurred Day shirts are available over at doyouspeakgeek.com. But to Anthony's point, yes, Anthony is now, the rambling that was part of HeyArcher is now going to be its own thing. But it will be its own thing on the rebranded Nerd Affiliated. So essentially, if I had in my left hand HeyArcher, in my right hand I had Nerd Affiliated, we just merely did a swap in name. And what's happening is Nerd Affiliated is going to be the main channel where you could find all the podcasts, all the reviews. HeyArcher Live will still be there. Think of it as like your network, the Nerd Affiliated network. And on that network, you'll have Rambling with Anthony, where he'll be doing episodes, believe it or not, without yours truly. No HeyArcher there. So I'm really excited to have you do that, to have you do your own content, to bring whatever friends you want. We'll talk about that too. But I'm really, really happy that you've been enjoying the podcast journey and are choosing to continue with it.
I really have been, and thanks, because this, not just saying this, everybody who's listening knows this definitely wouldn't have happened without you, because this is all your baby. So, as you said, yes, I am growing up. I've grown up before your eyes. My avatar has grown up before YouTube and everybody else's eyes in that regard, and here we are. It's exciting. very excited. We have some good ideas. Me and a couple of other people we've been, who you have been speaking with as well.
Hmm.
So, yeah, fun times ahead, I think.
There you go. So, in case you are listening, I am also drinking out of a Batman mug in honor of Mr. Gotham City himself, Anthony.
Thank you.
So, if you want to find links to everything, of course, nerdaffiliated.net is where you can find all of that. .com was taken, and GoDaddy was like, you got to spend $98 plus a commission fee for us to hunt down who owns nerdaffiliated.com so you can get it back from them and probably still pay them for it. And I was like, yeah, I'm all set. So we're .net for now. The Instagrams have also changed. So HeyArcher remains HeyArcher because I'll just keep posting my personal random metal music videos in my stories or Batman videos there. But Nerd Affiliated at the moment is nerd_affiliated because I can't make it Nerd Affiliated because technically I still own that and own it for 14 days according to Instagram. So I can't even transfer it to myself. So nerd_affiliated for now in case somebody takes it. And then Anthony will have Rambling Nerd on Instagram. That will be where you'll see when Rambling comes out and all the fun things that he wants to post there as well. So lots of new pages, but it's the same faces for all of you to enjoy on the gram. But everything could be found at nerdaffiliated.net. With that being said, I believe that before we get into your show, the first show that you recorded, we got to talk about the news of the day. And there's a certain movie coming out that you've been very excited for. It got delayed. Mm-hmm. It's now coming back out. And you got to see a couple people from that movie.
I did. And who would have thought that it's not the Batman that we're talking about?
That would have been cool too. But I think this one's cooler. I think this one's cooler though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different levels of cool. Yes. So yeah, today I got to see and meet, and that I said hi, tried to hide the big old grin on my face and not just say, "Oh my God, you're Bill fucking Murray." Bury the lead. I met Bill Murray today. I met Ernie Hudson today.
Wow.
I met Dan Aykroyd.
Wow.
Paul Rudd.
Wow.
And oh my God, I blanked on this girl's name again. Help.
Her picture will be right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sorry. I met this nice woman today too, and her name is just gone out of my head, but that happens. Wait. Sorry about that.
Hang on. I got to do two things, right? I've not done these two things on the podcast before. Episode 150, by the way. First, I need to give you a round of applause for the fact that all of that happened to you today.
Thank you.
Childhood dream moments right there. Second of all,
yep.
just for you, everybody go to your bar that's in your house, whether it's in the kitchen, on the mantle, under your freaking bed, wherever it may be, and pour yourself just a little bit of...
More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka,
oh, yeah.
more whiskey,
yep.
and more beer.
Because my man met the entire cast of Ghostbusters.
Oh, yes.
Wild.
Yeah. Yeah, I was the entire time kind of just like looking around like, okay, this is cool. Paul Rudd is just real life Photoshop. The man looks like he did in Friends, different hairstyle.
Wait. So is it merited that he's the sexiest man alive? Like that? That's no bullshit. Like you saw him in real life and you're like, that actually matches.
I saw him, yeah. And at first, I'm like, I don't. And then he turns and like, smiles and waves hi at everybody and like, oh, okay, yeah. It's warranted. So, yeah, sexiest man alive. Paul Rudd. I met him. No big deal. Maybe I'm the runner-up next year.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's
the assistant to the sexiest man alive.
I feel like it's a tough race between him and Bill Murray. I mean, when you talk about just oozing sexual Tyrannosaurus, I mean, Bill Murray
Yeah,
is probably
I
up
try
there.
not to lock eyes with him
Yeah,
because I
it'd be
don't
over.
want to. I don't want to be pregnant. It
You're,
doesn't seem fun.
yeah.
We know somebody who's been pregnant twice, and she didn't sell it to me. You know, it
Yeah.
wasn't like, ooh, I got to try that. You know,
Your marriage
so
would be over if Bill Murray even said your name.
yeah, yeah, my relationship would definitely be over.
Yeah. um,
Uh,
so are you, I'm going to ask this question for the sake of the podcast. I know
okay.
the answer. Fans of the podcast know the answer, but the fact that you met them aside, are you thoroughly excited to see this movie? Like, do you
I
have
am,
faith in this
and
movie?
I do, and I don't know why. I think I do even more so after today because I
Mm,
heard them all talk, and this was for a segment that'll be on some news channel, CBS, I think, Wednesday morning. So you guys can all listen to it then.
mm,
Listening to more Dan Aykroyd because he really does like have a love for this whole franchise.
yeah.
Obviously, like I've seen interviews with him over the years. The way he talked about it, the way they all talked about it after like he kind of opened up and started gushing over it a little bit. Uh, yeah, I'm more sold than I was before. Like the clips, the trailers, and the clips, they were like making me think that it's going in a direction where I wanted it to go.
Mm,
Being in New York for Comic Con, I heard things from people who went to Comic Con and got a screening
mm,
of the film, and
mm.
without they were like, I was like, no spoilers, but they were like, nah, it really does like
Holds up.
pay homage to one and two, and
Mm,
makes it its own thing. But there's also fan service, but it's also new, and it expands the universe, which I guess is what everything is nowadays, which is
right.
fine by me. Uh, yeah, so I'm very excited, and I've actually enforced something on myself that I the last few years have been struggling with. It started with going back Dawn of Justice. I watched every clip, every trailer, every snippet that came out. Is more so. I think probably rolling into Infinity War. I'd watch the first like I saw of course the first trailer, the
Mm,
very first trailer, and then I think I watched the second one, but like TV spots and like the final trailer, uh, I skipped those because I was like, no, I got to leave something. I need to feel excited, unlike with Dawn of Justice, where I was like,
mm,
saw that in the trailer, saw that in the trailer. Where is
mm.
this? Where is that? Blah blah blah. So I haven't seen the last trailer. I'm not going to see the last trailer. Maybe I'll go to the theater Friday night if I'm not working. But yeah, between the trailers that we had seen and now having listened to them talk about this, I'm ready.
Yeah. I and you knew this, and those of you who watch HeyArcher live religiously every Thursday at 8 p.m., you guys knew this. I had not seen Ghostbusters until recently. It
Hmm.
was something that as a kid, it didn't come across the table for me. And my first introduction to it was the cartoon, which I wanted the figures because I thought the figures were absolutely amazing. And my friends had them, but my parents, for some reason, didn't get it for me. I guess, I don't think in that case it was because it was Ghosts. I think they were like, well, we've never even seen you watch the show type of thing.
Right.
So it wasn't until this past year, Joel, mutual friend of ours, we sat down, watched Ghostbusters. He loves Ghostbusters. And the thing that he and I both agree with when it came to Ghostbusters, and you kind of touched on it, was the fact that New York City is almost its own character in Ghostbusters. And even today, you saw the Ghostbusters at the Ghostbusters firehouse,
Hmm.
and you had the car, and the sign was there. You saw like the house that you saw a character in the show, in the movie, that isn't animated. But when I've seen these trailers, it seems like most of the movie takes place outside of New York City. Sometimes I think it's because it's cheaper to do like middle of nowhere, and I know it's cheaper taxes wise and stuff, but I think graphically too, it's just cheaper for companies to do that, film in the middle of Nebraska or Georgia or something like that. So my question is, does that bother you that most of this movie won't even take place in New York City, or is that not something you thought of? Do you think they'll have an easy workaround for it? Do you think they're just hiding that part from the trailers?
A little of everything. I'm imagining that, and again, I haven't seen it, so this is just my theory.
Right.
I'm imagining if somehow at the end of the movie, because, I guess spoilers or my theory, whatever. Yeah. I think they've pretty much said that the two kids in the film are Egon's grandkids. So you have that, and maybe like if ultimately they find, because they're going to beat the ghosts, they're going to beat Gozer, because they've already, in the trailers, you see that that's who the bad guy is of the film again. So like I'm imagining they wanted to get the film standing on its own two legs, and then like say, oh, okay, but don't worry, this all still exists, and we can go from there in another iteration. Like, maybe they'll take the trap back to the firehouse at the end. I like that. And like, like at the end, like, because again, from the trailers, I get the impression that Egon will, just like Harold Ramis, not be in, he'll be passed away. There'll be some mystery because maybe the ghost busting business has died out over 40 years, right? I can't do math in my head on the fly. Yeah, almost 40 years.
Yeah. Because that's how old we are, dude.
Yeah. Ernie Hudson made a comment today. He's like, because the interviewer, whose name I forget too, how did you know, he asked everybody, how did you know the first one? How did you know it had become like a thing? And he's like, he gave an answer, very eloquent. I'm going to butcher it. But basically he's like, 5 years later, 10, 30, almost 40 years later, here we are. People love it. People still love it. Kids love it. Kids who have no idea, who should have no idea who I am, they love it. Winston, they know all of us. So, yeah. So I'm okay with them, like, not having, because again, let it stand on its own 2 feet. Because if you shoot them right into New York, then you would hit a problem where like, oh, okay, come on, these kids are going to do this running around New York. It seems like it's going to be a small town issue.
Yeah.
So let them. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with. Maybe a few years ago I would have been pissed, but now I'm okay with giving them the benefit of the doubt. And if they burn me, they burn me. But maybe they'll do something that honors the past and takes it in a new direction.
The $1 million question. Did you see the last movie?
I haven't. And hang on one second. Sorry. Parched. I hadn't, just because the opposite happened. The trailers didn't do anything for me. I love the films. I love the cartoon. The trailer for the all-female Ghostbusters didn't do anything for me, and I was like, eh. And then I've never seen it on cable. I've come across it on like regular TV a few times, but I want to watch it. I don't have anything against watching it. I've heard from people who have seen it, like, yeah, it's not the best, but it's not as terrible as people say. So I am willing. I mean, maybe we can do a watch party or something. But I'm open to seeing it, but I haven't at this point because, again, trailers didn't do anything for me. Word of mouth completely killed the curiosity I had about it. And somebody told me how they win in the end, and that just like legitimately made me roll my eyes, scoff, and just move on with whatever I was doing. So,
well, it's funny because everybody I know that's seen it, which is a very small amount of people, they all were like, yeah, it wasn't the worst thing ever. Like it's passable. Everybody kind of says that Chris Hemsworth is a better part of that movie. But I also think if maybe I would judge it harder because I love watching like video essays on YouTube, and I've already seen like 2 or 3 on the movie. So I feel like I'm already going to know the flaws of the movie going into it. And I'm not sure if it's worth the time, but I feel like in just a due diligence type of thing, I might as well watch it. I think mainly, and this may affect your decision, one of the things I watched, they mentioned that in order for you to do a Ghostbusters live action, you needed the blessing of the original cast. So, and Bill Murray's in the last one. I don't know if everybody else is in it, but you needed the blessing. So I'm wondering if in this new movie, there will be some Easter eggs or callbacks or references to the third one. Because even though everybody wants it erased from history, it still needed their blessing to be created. And I'm wondering if they're going to take the attitude of like, well, you may have thought it sucked, but I still greenlit it. I still think it's canon. Let's reference it in this movie.
I mean, if they did, it wouldn't be the first time anybody took a movie. I'm thinking of Suicide Squad specifically, spoilers, and said, like, basically said, yeah, it happened, but moved the story on in a completely new direction, and it's a more enjoyable film than the first one. Like, I enjoy the first Suicide Squad. You know, as we've talked about, I'd love to see the director's cut, and I'll leave it there before I go off on a rant.
That's
or
for
a
your
ramble,
that's
I
for
guess.
your show.
That's
your
for my show.
Yeah.
But again, maybe it's because we are almost 40. I'm not as, I don't want to say I'm not as passionate, but maybe I'm not as impulsive. If they figure out a way to, if they say, okay, that movie happened. I don't know the specifics of that movie, so I don't know if anything that happened in that, like, I don't know if it's a complete remake or if it's just the Ghostbusters now. Like, do you know if they ever reference like the original Ghostbusters in the female movie?
I don't know.
Okay, so I mean, if they hadn't, maybe there's a way to backdoor that in, or you reference them going forward. If they if they acknowledge it in a way that again blends it together well, and you have these guys working together going forward somehow, cool. But on the other hand, if this one is as good as I'm hoping, and I have like the gut feeling that it'll be, I'm gonna say that I don't even care if they ever mention the all-female one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Because I mean, they didn't. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, somebody has said to me like, "Oh, well, you just didn't like it because it was women." I'm like, have we talked?
Yeah.
I want it to be good.
Yeah.
It's not. I heard nothing but bad. Like, I mean, spoilers for how I'm told that it ended. The all-female Ghostbusters. Spoilers.
Wait. You know what? Hold off on the spoiler. I kind of want that surprise.
Okay. Then okay. But yeah, it had nothing like I say, it didn't grab me. And I think yeah, you're right. It had their blessing, but having their blessing and having their input are two totally different things. I don't know what sort of a role Dan Aykroyd or
Murray.
Ivan Reitman.
Oh,
is that the father? Whatever, the original director Reitman. I don't know what input those two had, or if they just like waved a hand at it and said, "Okay, go with God," and then maybe on paper, and wouldn't be the first time a studio screwed up a film. On paper, oh yeah, this is great. This is a great taken in a new direction, blah blah blah, and then maybe the studio said, oh, "Okay," but on second thought, blah 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 blah. Blah. Who knows? That director of Ghostbusters hasn't said anything, so all we can do is guess and speculate. But
you reminded me of something actually. Just as you said that, I was thinking of the last Terminator, James Cameron. Like James Cameron, I believe he even got a producer credit on it, and was supposed to be like working on it and involved. Probably showed up one day, if I had to guess. Just gave the blessing, and people were like, "Oh, this movie's terrible." Like, I don't, but that was part of the marketing. Almost was like James Cameron's part of this. Like James Cameron's involved. So I'm thinking maybe in the third one it was the same thing. They're like, "Oh, we're doing this." Obviously, that they have to give the blessing because that's what's in the contract. So come on, they said it's great. Come see this movie, but then you get, like you said, something that the studio just took off and ran with.
Yeah, and I mean, technically, that happened with the theatrical cut of Justice League. Christopher Nolan, I'm pretty sure, and Emma Thompson, right? That's his wife, not the actress. His wife, Emma. They're producers on it. Yeah, they're producers on it, and because they were producers of Man of Steel, and I think he had like heavy input in that. And okay, everything happened with Zack Snyder. I have a hard time believing that Christopher Nolan had any hand in the theatrical cut of Justice League.
Mm.
So to me, that's a similar situation.
I
And
I will slightly disagree on one part.
okay,
That bank robbery scene is all Christopher Nolan, or sorry, the museum heist, and I didn't notice it as much in the theatrical, but when I watched the Snyder cut, I was like, man, this is like straight out of Dark Knight, and I had no idea Christopher Nolan was involved in the movie until the credits, and I was like, there you go, that museum scene, the way the camera followed them up the stairs, I was like, this is very Christopher Nolan, and it turns out he was involved. He may have been more involved than we want to acknowledge.
but that was in the Snyder cut. I'm talking about the theatrical cut.
No, but you gotta record all that stuff and edit it somehow. I think he may have been more involved than one would assume, and then in the Snyder cut, they're like, all right, well let's revisit it, and then he's like, okay, well now that we have 4 hours, let's do this and let's do that.
I got you. Okay.
I can't with the younger directors, I can't give them the same kind of pass as a Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, as a James Cameron, as a freaking Scorsese. I can't give them the same pass because I'm like, yes, you're popular, but you're still. I don't think you've earned that right to just be like, yeah, put my name on it, do whatever. So when I saw Wonder Woman 84, I was like, this is garbage. I think we all agree it's garbage. And then at the end, I saw Snyder's name in the credits, and I was like, Justice League Snyder Cut's gonna suck. Like, like we forgot that he sucks at this. We drank the Kool-Aid, and we're like, no, the Snyder Cut's gotta be better because of the one time it was better, which was BVS, and then we got the movie we got. But
Well, I mean, Wonder Woman was good too, the first one, and I think he wrote the story for that, or was one of the writers.
did he?
So
I don't
pretty
know.
sure.
There's too many between Sucker Punch and Man of Steel. I mean that's a ramble. We got to ramble. Man of Steel.
That's coming, folks.
Yeah.
That I have. Can I tease that a little bit?
Go for it. Yeah.
So yeah, a friend of mine who everybody will get to know well, he and I are very lined up on our views of Man of Steel,
Which is scary.
and which is because now there's two of us, and
There's three because
and
I think Aaron Waller also liked that movie.
all right, well, Aaron, we'll talk to you, but
Shout out Aaron
next time
Waller.
it's going to be just the three of us because we can't make it 3-on-1. We'll just make it 2-on-1. Give you a fighting chance. Maybe you can make a point that'll send one of us reeling, and then we fall apart. But
Yeah.
so yeah, that'll be coming up. But yeah, we're gonna try to. I don't know if we're gonna convert you, but maybe we can get you
It
to
won't happen.
rethink. Well, never say never, sir. I said I would never have my own podcast, or
Yeah.
an Instagram page about this
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
and what? 2 years later, has it been 2 years? 1 year? I have no concept of time.
I think we're approaching 2 years.
Oh, okay.
I think you jumped in during the whole, so I don't get pulled, the work from home
Situation,
culture.
right?
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, that probably sounds about right.
But
So to bring it all back, Bill
Yeah.
Murray's amazing.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And,
What was it like seeing the car? Like seeing, because that car in the pictures that I saw, and I'll post one there for everybody. It was very rusty. Like they made it look like it was in a barn for extended period of time. Did you get a chance to like look in it or sit in it or anything like
I
that?
poked around in it. I didn't get to climb inside of it. They weren't having that. But yeah, I mean, it is because again, it's supposed to be how they found it. You get this from the trailers. that was the teaser actually. They pull a sheet off of it, and there she is sitting to rust to death in a barn.
Right.
So it was that car. So from the car guy standpoint, I was just like, oh man, this would look so cool if they, fixed it. And but it was still amazing to see. It was still like, that's the first time I've ever seen one of them in person. I've seen a couple of movie cars. Like when I went to California a few years ago, I did a Universal tour and they had them there. But even that was kind of a disappointment because they're the car that's been sitting out in the sun all day, sitting out in the rain all day. So they were faded, and I was also at a distance because I was on a ride or taking a bus. But this was really amazing to see. It is still, it's a '59 Cadillac. The thing is massive. I think it's funny that they actually, when it started up, they didn't bother fixing the engine, I guess, or at least they didn't bother. Like, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like it's running rough.
Wait.
It's loud.
Wait, it actually turns on and drives.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So they unload. I watched them unload this thing from a trailer. A trailer, and I'm like, oh wow, they're gonna probably back it in and just roll it off the ramp type of situation. But no, they lowered it to the street, and then I hear this loud. I'm like, what the hell? And yeah, there it is. Comes going up, and a couple of found that a CO meter in the firehouse was going off. Because that thing was just pumping out nothing good for you to breathe. Maybe that's why I had such a big smile on my face, and I can't remember what I had for dinner last night. But who knows? But yeah, no, seeing it in person was amazing. And I'm told they have there's a guy in Jersey whose name I forget, maybe because of the CO, and he has a really immaculate one that actually was wrecked during Ida. And he quickly got back up to snuff. So I hope I get to see one of those because I'm enough of a car guy. I appreciate cars and I know enough about cars to get myself in trouble. And I go, Joel and I have gone to the auto show. Mm-hmm. But yeah, seeing one of those things live and in person, that's actually fully restored and I guess the hero car, right? Mm-hmm. That would be amazing to see. It was still great to see this one today. Don't get me wrong, but it was just come on, old girl. I know you can. I hope they do her right and fix her up. They probably won't. They'll probably leave it like that. But I hope they don't.
Well, all right. So I got excited just now. The inner child in me, the inner dreamer in me, got really excited. So if you've made it this far already in the podcast, in the episode, leave a good review if you're listening. Subscribe, like, all that stuff. Do so for Rambling with Anthony on Instagram. But I want us to get to the point where in this nerd-affiliated empire, there's a garage and there's a DeLorean in it. There's a Ghostbusters Cadillac in it. The A-Team van's in it. The Back to the Future Tacoma's in it. That would be what else is there in life at that point?
Yeah, that'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
And you got to throw a Knight Rider Trans Am in there.
Oh,
for me.
You know what? I need to apologize. I was thinking it and I must have not said it out loud because that needs to be in there 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So going back, when I was a kid, I had what were they? Power Wheels, right? The battery powered car you can actually sit in and drive.
Yeah, Power Wheels. Yep.
Yeah, and I loved Back to the Future so much, and I would copy it, and I would pretend that the Power Wheels wouldn't start. I'd scream "damn" and I would headbutt this plastic wheel with everything I got, and I'm pretty sure I scared the hell out of my mother because I'm sure she here's how old could I have been? 5 or 6, screaming "damn, damn!" And then you hear in my head I won't slap anything because I don't want to screw up your audio, but boom,
I appreciate that
because I had and have a very hard head. So just ask any of my friends or my girlfriend, and they will vouch for the thickness of my skull. So I could only imagine what she heard and thought as like, what the hell is he doing? Oh
Yeah.
my God, he's trying to give himself a concussion. But yeah, I'm glad I learned before practicality required me to try it that that is not a way to start a car. I know I've heard DeLoreans are pieces of crap, but and for anybody else out there who has an older car, headbutting your steering wheel, I'm going to say 99.9999999% chance that is not going to work. You're just going to give yourself a bruise or a concussion, and then you can't drive the car anyway.
But you know what? That 0.00001 time it does work, you just save the future.
Yeah, but you know what? Slap the dashboard. Maybe that loose wire will make the connection.
Yeah.
Because that's all it was.
Yeah.
He hits his head on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And then whatever
short was going on in
whatever.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry. Didn't mean to. Now I just destroyed people's childhood. And I'm gonna get
you broke fourth
mail.
wall on there. You explained how automobiles work and how electronics work, which is not cool at all.
Yeah, sorry, folks. All right, so I guess this is going to be the last episode of Rambling with Anthony. Thank you for listening. Tune in next week when Steve gets our buddy Josh on here to give it a go.
There you go. The
But
new
Josh falls
host.
asleep during movies, so
He does. He notoriously. In case anybody doesn't know, the cast of characters being discussed right now. Josh was my roommate for a while too. Yes, he does fall asleep during every single movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now I know you have to leave pretty soon, so why don't we quickly? I'll ask a question, and then we're gonna talk about what your topic is. The segment. Yes, Anthony has his own segment on his own show, and how that works. So tomorrow we have the trailer dropping, allegedly, a second trailer to a second or third second trailer. Pretty sure second. Trailer. Yeah,
Spider-Man, right?
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Yes.
And I just watched Shang-Chi.
Ooh, how was it?
I have to do a 2-minute review on it. I don't want to spoil that here, but what I like is you guys have a segment coming up that I want you to talk about it. And the reason I'm pairing them both together is I have a major issue with Marvel as it stands, where they almost cannot be serious for more than 5 seconds. And I don't like where the last couple of years of Marvel movies have been going.
Mm-hmm.
So to fuse it together, and if you're only listening, my hands are coming together to clasp, to fuse. One, are you excited for this Spider-Man No Way Home movie / trailer coming out? But two, if you could redo it, is there something in particular, again, for sake of time, that you would redo in its timeline, of which case you could explain the concept of that segment on your show? I connected a lot of webs there, no pun intended.
Mm-hmm. But I'm done. And I think I'm following. Okay, so yeah, no, I'm not following at all. What the hell do you want me to say? What are you asking me?
The question is, are you excited for the trailer / movie? I guess that's two questions. Are you excited for the trailer? 1, are you excited for the movie? 2, but 3, if you could change the timeline of things, what would you change? But in doing so, you can also talk about the segment on your show.
Gotcha. I'm happy there'll be a trailer, but going back to what I said earlier, because we're so close to the release, I will not watch it. I'm going to do my very best to avoid it. I've seen, I can't remember what, but there was, scrolling through Instagram, I see something I think is a meme, and then I open it to see larger, and then once my old eyes adjust, I'm like, oh no, this is like a breakdown, and I look away as quickly as I can. So I'm happy there's going to be another trailer. I hope you guys enjoy it. I am going to do my very best not to see it. I am still I'm excited for the movie. I'm not too excited because it is Marvel and they are kind of trending a certain way for us.
Mm-hmm. So if you could change something, is there something
If
you
I
would
can-
change?
I mean, I would.
If you could turn back time.
I would. I'd let more time elapse.
Mm.
I would. They really want him to be a teenage high school Peter Parker,
Mhm.
and again, maybe it's because we're 40, but I think there's only like
Don't
yeah,
rush.
that is a
Don't
very
don't
important.
rush those
Yeah,
years. Don't put that on me.
no, I don't want to. I don't want to rush Peter Parker's development on screen,
Mm.
but at the same time, I I think they're writing him too childish, and it also I don't think it lends itself well to the reality of the situation. Whereas we know he's not, I know I'm not watching a high school kid. I'm watching Tom Holland, a 20-something-year-old man,
Mm.
and you only have these guys for a limited amount of time. So I want to see an evolution to the character. So I would let more time elapse and have adult things happen to him. Like I was rolling my eyes anytime we were on in No Way Far From Home when we were doing like the school trip stuff.
Mm.
You know, I was like, you're really trying to force me to care about this cast of characters, and that had a really insurmountable mountain in my view, because that capped off the phase that they were in. It follows up with Endgame, which, for all its flaws, was amazing.
Yeah.
And jumping right into Far From Home like that, even if he's a senior in high school at that point or something, let some time pass. Let him, I didn't like seeing. He's still a very new Spider-Man,
Right.
and it was contradictory because okay, he just had the big battle in Endgame, and now he's, to me, kind of like bumbling around and screwing around, and he accidentally sends a drone to kill Flash, and it's like, that's also like, why the hell would Tony Stark do that, type of situation, like put those glasses on hold until he's older type of thing, seems like for the guy who took the suit and didn't want him on the ship with him in Infinity War.
Mm.
Excuse me, he took the suit in
Yeah.
Homecoming,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would let more time pass personally, and that's also the benefit of Disney Plus now. I mean, who the hell knows how the contracts work, but you could do some sort of Spider-Man show if you really want to fill in the gaps, or like hinting at stuff having happened, like where they are now. I feel like this is going to pick up weeks or months after the reveal at the end of Far From Home.
Mm. Yeah.
Let more time pass. Let's find out that Kraven the Hunter, a government agent or a subcontractor from the government, has been hunting Peter for years,
Mm.
right? Stark Industries got Aunt May and Ned and MJ under their protection, but Peter was still a target for whatever reason. So Peter's out there on the run. Let's see a Peter who grew up. It would kind of like, let's see kind of a Peter Ben Reilly hybrid where, he's Ben Reilly in the sense that he's on the run, he's trying to hide,
Right.
he's not in New York for a while, he's forced to grow and evolve.
Right.
Yeah. Did I give you any sort of an answer to your question, sir?
You did. No, I mean, you did. And I agree with all of that. Especially, I like that about the original trilogy where he was in high school for one movie, and then it was he's college young adult, slinging pizzas, and then after that he was done with college. So I like that time passed with it, and yeah, he was still quirky and not immature, but there were things about him where you're like, yeah, this isn't an established guy. He's still trying to discover who he is. And it made sense because Tobey Maguire, at that point, probably in his 30s, playing a 20-something-year-old, but you're like, all right, this is still passable. Yeah, Tom Holland now, when I see that they're still in high school going into a third movie, I'm like, I don't understand why. I don't understand that either. I never thought of that whole Spider-Man on the run for a third movie. And maybe I did when we saw the original part two, but you know, you bring it up now, I'm like, yeah, like why isn't that part of this thing? Why are we immediately going to do a whole movie undoing all of this that happened? You don't let Marvel doesn't let things sit. They're like, all right, this happened, on to the next one, on to the next one. And the only time I think you saw something maybe sit was going from Ultron, or sorry, Winter Soldier into Age of Ultron into Infinity War. Like that was the only time you saw something kind of sit. Cap was on the run technically, you know, for that period of time, but it was short lived. I mean, at that point you were already kind of done with it, but they made it established that time had passed. People changed. You know, Tony Stark kind of changed as a person over time. So I'm down for all that, but
Captain America changed as a person over time.
Yeah.
The first Avenger Cap, Winter Soldier,
Yeah.
they're not they are growing as characters.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even in he grows a lot in Winter Soldier. Where he's questioning with Sam. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to stay in Shield. He doesn't say it, but yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's like a couple of months and he wants to put, I mean, okay, I get it. He wanted to put the genie back in the bottle right away, but a couple weeks, a month or two, and he's going to go run to Doctor Strange. It's like
to redo everything.
And Doctor Strange is going to be so arrogant he hasn't learned anything in his whole hero's journey either. It's just like, you know, these are really stupid people then. Like, I get it. They're humans. They're supposed to make mistakes, and that's going to drive the movies. But in the comics, they are
smarter
hugely, they're way more intelligent. They think about these things, and, you know, again, okay, they're younger versions of the character experience-wise, but it's like, again, Doctor Strange has all these lessons about, like, you know, misusing magic and things like that. Yeah. And lastly, the thing, I'm still excited about it, but I'm cautious about the movie in general, and I think we've discussed this, is I feel like it is just going to be a whole bait and switch again. Like, I think, you know, we're getting teed up. Everybody's like, oh my, and like, I'm going to really try to stay away, but everybody's like, no way. Charlie Cox is going to be in it. Toby, Andrew Garfield, Vincent D'Onofrio, you know, friggin' Jay and Silent Bob are going to walk by, you know, whatever. Everybody and their mother is going to be in this movie. And at best, we're going to get Alfred Molina, which isn't bad because he was an amazing Doc Ock. But I feel like they're going to do a WandaVision type of thing where, I don't know, they explain it in a way where we still have not in live action explored the multiverse.
Yeah.
Because if they had any balls, if Marvel had any balls, they would commit to the Spider-Verse and Toby and Andrew or some other live version, Miles Morales would show up somehow. Ben Reilly, Tobey Maguire as Ben Reilly from an alternate universe would show up. Spider-Gwen would show up. Is she Spider-Gwen? Her actual hero name is Spider-Woman, right? In her universe? That's a job question for the post-edit. Yeah. That's a job.
Answer is going to be here.
There you go. You have the capital. You have the fan backing. Go a little nuts. Go a little balls to the wall and just do it. If they actually did it and they've managed to keep this a secret for so long, like, that would be kind of on par with Hugh Jackman playing X-24 in Logan. I did not know that was coming, and I didn't have my no watching all the trailers and snippets thing. When he walks out as young X-24, I'm like, holy shit! I was genuinely shocked.
Yeah.
If they managed to do something like that, okay, I'd be genuinely shocked. Even if they acknowledged that there's a multiverse, I'd be shocked because they didn't. They teased it, and then it fell way short in WandaVision. You know, obviously, What If establishes that it is, that there is a multiverse and what if is canon to the Marvel universe, but that's great. And I'm not trying to be an ass. That's still an animated show. I need to see it. I need to see it in live action as a series or in live action on film, on the big screen in a movie to really think, okay, good job, Marvel.
Yeah.
Because my particular opinion means everything to $1 billion corporation.
But hey, they listen to the show. They know what's up.
I hope so.
So
I'd like at least a little bit of a royalty check in that case, or something.
yeah,
commission?
it's in the checks in the mail. Checks in the
I
mail.
hope so.
So the final question then: what can everybody expect on that particular segment I'm thinking about on Rambling with Anthony?
On Rambling with Anthony, weeknights, whenever we get around to it, it's going to be, we're going to be talking to a friend of mine for a very long time, Sal. He is braver than me and has committed to appearing on camera.
He has.
You're going to see Sal before you ever see my face.
I think part of it should be that we never see your face, but they do see your face, but they don't know it's you because it's like background of stuff.
Yeah, we can do something like that, or I'll just grow like an amazing beard next time I'm on vacation. I'm already working on the long hair, but it's very curly, so it just goes up. But anyway, I digress. Sal is obviously aware of this show. You've met him in the chat for HeyArcher on Thursdays. We've spoken. He, was keen to kind of ramble with us, and then we were going to set it up. And he and I have a lot of conversations that could be ramblings in their own right. And a lot of times what we do is we basically what if a subject. And he was thinking, from the brainchild of Sal, we're going to be calling this the Snap, where we take as he puts it, a Nexus event. And then at that moment, a snap happens. And from there, it's us changing what went on, but we're not just trying to make it a happy ending. We're not just trying to, we're not just going to snap our fingers and Mysterio never outs Peter Parker. We want to, it's our imagining where we would want a series to go from a certain point in time. And never mind if it's a long running series, we're not trying to say, oh, okay, we're going to fix this, but then the rest of the movies still occur or the rest of the comics still occur. We're saying, at such and such date or such and such episode, such and such movie, at this point, snap your fingers, things go a little different. We're going to explain why they go different. We're going to go down a rabbit hole, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the ride, and we're going to go from there.
Love it. I don't want to spoil the episode, but I do want to. I think it's not a spoiler to say the topic, because it's going to be in the title description of the episode. Okay. So their first episode is based on Star Wars. And to Anthony's point, how a moment in time can change where they would like the story to go. Literally somebody shows up just like a little bit faster than they did in canon. And that changes everything. Like showing up late, early, missing a train, like those kinds of moments, to Sal's point, creates that Nexus event where that person's perspective changes, and now you have this other timeline going. So I thoroughly enjoyed the first episode of the Snap. Even though I was joking, it's Rambling episode 13, but that's to me the producer, I guess. Anything else you want to plug or talk about before we call it an episode?
Are we still calling it HeyArcher Live on Thursdays, or is it Nerd Affiliated Live on?
HeyArcher Live on Nerd Affiliated.
HeyArcher Live on Nerd Affiliated, Thursdays at 8. Rambling with Anthony.
There you go.
When we can. I am on Instagram at the Rambling. Oh no, excuse me. I added a word. I'm on Instagram at Rambling Nerd. You'll see. We're gonna see what we can't do with this. Very exciting. Very exciting time.
we need to work to the garage of your favorite vehicles. Think Ready Player One, but in real life.
That's a whole nother episode. I will make a list of that. But there will be at least one Smoking and the Bandit Trans Am in there.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a lot of Trans Ams in there.
There are, but I'm just saying, like, that was that movie I saw young, and I was just like, oh, that is the coolest car ever.
If you could only get one, you would choose that one over Knight Rider, over Kit?
Yeah, because that was just about the car. Like, Kit was and is cool, and we're going to be fixing some Knight Rider going forward. Don't you worry, folks.
Nice.
Just thought of that. Thank you, Steve. But
yes, erase Knight Rider 2000 and Team Knight Rider from the timeline.
We have to talk about that because yes and no with the Team Knight Rider.
That's how you know the guys in this podcast are in that 40-year-old range.
Yeah, watching on UPN on like Saturday at 7:00.
Yep.
Where all great shows are born. The 7 p.m. on a Saturday night time slot.
What was that other one? There was like another. Keep going. I'll think of. There was like another show.
But so yeah, I'm going with the black Trans Am, Screaming Chicken, snowflake tires. I hate to do it, but I'm going to go with the damn diamond plate dashboard because they had some sort of weird thing like that on there. Yeah, I'm doing it, and I have to rewatch what it is, but I remember watching something that it was just like explaining. It wasn't necessarily trying to belittle, but it's like slapping whatever it had 2.7 liter on the side. It meant nothing. Like I think if I'm remembering properly, whatever I watched, they were like, yeah, we needed it to sound cool. So 2.7 liter, nobody knows what the hell it is. Sounds great. So, because, yeah, the top speed on those cars, because they were very limited in the 70s. That's why you have the 60s, for those who can't see me. We're up here. 70s
I'll mimic.
Down here. So, yeah. I'm thinking Ryan Reynolds from the first Hitman's Bodyguard when I do that, by the way. So, yeah.
Cars.
Yep, that would be my one and only if I had to have one and only.
Cars, TV shows, movies, everything over at Rambling with Anthony.
Mm-hmm. I know a little about a lot and a lot about a little.
There you go. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. As he said, HeyArcher Live every Thursday at 8 p.m. on the Nerd Affiliated YouTube channel. So if you've not done so, subscribe to Nerd Affiliated. But if you want to see my toy hunting and wacky adventures, my latest prized possession, then the Calrissian for $10. I mean, come on. Can't go wrong there. Like, comment, subscribe to all the stuff we mentioned. Leave a good review if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform. Follow HeyArcher. Follow Nerd_affiliated. And follow Rambling Nerd on Instagram. And either way, we'll talk to all you nerds in the next video or audio podcast. Peace.